Nobody should adjust you here. If anybody touches you here, be careful. We want to work below and above.
Okay.
Okay? Just gotta mash that spot down.
Initially, I used to compete wakeboarding, and I blew my LS1 to LS5 disc out of my back with, couldn't tell you exactly which ones, but there's herniating and bulging in there,
Okay.
and then shattered my tailbone, and then got rear-ended in a car accident and had more in my thoracic.
And your job mainly has you sitting most of the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which,
And then it's been 9-10 years since you've seen somebody?
yeah, for a chiropractor, yeah.
Okay. And then I was a little impressed. I was glad you said that they took an MRI seated, right?
Yeah.
You actually knew that, right?
Yeah, I wanted it under compression because otherwise, if you're laying down, your disc is kind of just laying out.
I'm so impressed. Many.
Patient ever.
It's very rare because most of the time I have to explain to people that when you take a laying down MRI, there's no gravity on this cartilaginous structure, which is made of water, and when you compress it, it bulges more.
Yeah, and
so
that's what's causing the pain that's hitting the disc and everything else.
right. So it's a stress
Or the
view.
nerve. Or,
Right. We call it a stress view, and if you're sitting, it puts more stress on the discs. So let me get the model here. When there are 24 vertebrae in here, 22 discs in our spinal column. L5, lumbar 5, and then S1 is the last disc here. L5 is the last disc. This is about 75% of disc injury. 24%, this is just pure statistics on where disc herniations happen. In terms of the lower back, these two encompass about 99%, about 1%, and then it's literally about 1 in a million in here. And then we have the lower cervical with the remainder, about C5, 6, and 7. The lower neck has the remainder of the disc.
that's pretty common in there.
Right. Well, and the current chiropractic or medical explanation predominantly is that it's age and weight that cause these issues. And I go, well, how old's these discs in here? How much weight is this disc holding? It's more weight than that disc. So I don't see age and weight. What I see is alignment and mobility. When we sit for long periods of time, and especially in our formative years when we're young, and then we have injuries, our alignment is altered, and that's where the curve in our neck goes straight, or when we're sitting, the curve in our lower back goes straight. It's supposed to be arched.
Gotcha.
We call lordosis. I hope by the time we leave here, it's coming out your ears, because have you heard the word lordosis? People come to me from many chiropractors and I say, have you heard the word lordosis before? And they're like, no. And I'm going, that saddens me because it's pretty much the most vital.
I haven't heard it from any chiropractors.
It's not good. It's not good because that's the whole point. The whole reason, if you want to get to the cause for why, Ed, yeah, I know I have L5S1 disc injury. That injury happened because of two reasons. One, this part of your back was likely stiff, so that when you're wakeboarding, all the mobility was happening here. And then the alignment that you were in when you were in a car accident, when you were stressing your spine out, this is where all the forces went. We don't age vertebrae that don't move. We don't injure vertebrae that don't show up to work. New study shows that football players that spend their entire season on the bench don't get concussion.
Yeah.
That makes sense? The teeth that you don't chew on don't get cracked.
Yeah.
It's only the vertebrae that are actually showing up. And our world, if anything, demonizes them. We go, oh, they're inflamed. And I go, correct, because they're the most functioning part of your spine. And we have to do two things to help you, and I hope to lay the framework today. One, restore the functionality of your chest. There are knuckles in here. See these little handshakes here? Mm-hmm. They all glide over each other, where that surface slides over that surface. And so this has a lot of feeling. Well, actually, two structures have a lot of feeling, the nerve and then the joint. And when the joint gets injured, your body tilts away from it to open it up. The joint that's why we round forward to get away from
I tend to I'll have a hunch.
You'll want to get away from those injured joints that get jammed, or when you get whiplashed, the joint gets injured. And then notice also when you bend forward, watch the size of that hole. See how it gets bigger?
Mm-hmm.
So the disc has no feeling, and when you bend forward, the hole gets larger, so it's an avoidance posture to round forward. So these are the two reasons why we see people as we age typically
Yeah, start hunching.
go more and more forward.
Yeah.
Once we get your spine loosened up, we're going to show you how to stretch the curve back to your spine.
Okay.
That's the only way that the stress can be permanently removed from the lower back.
On a double up with wakeboarding, you just turn the boat around, and the wakes come together, so you can get more height out of it. But you don't know how it's going to throw you.
Right.
And so I was coming down just straight-legged like this,
And just wham.
and it went up and just paralyzed me for like, I don't know, 7 or 10 minutes. Felt like forever, but
Right. So the nerve got choked. Those discs compressed, and then the wire got, and then it takes
Yeah.
time for that nerve to reset. Head back for me. Here we go. Let it all go. Here we go. Deep breath in. Yeah, loosen it. Head back. Here we go. Here we go. Deep breath in. One more. Exhale. Yeah. Frozen.
yeah, it's tight.
If that area moved wonderfully, I'd be confused why we're injured, right? Because those areas have to be.
It's so tight to
Right.
try to support it.
So when I bend, do you see how if this is restricted?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see how all the bending happens here?
Yeah.
And that's what's allowed you to age that area so quickly. If your middle back moved, I go, how did you injure that again? So that explains it. And
Okay.
I don't need the sound. I know we like the sound, but what I need is it to feel soft. So two things were happening there. One, it didn't click that much, and two, it felt rigid. So there's supposed to be a curve down here.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we're adjusting people, if I bring the knee up, you see how that flattens it out?
Yeah.
It'd be really sad to do that.
Okay.
We want to have the arch in your spine.
And do you want my
You stay right
bottom
there.
leg straight?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're good. I'm just going to show you. See, nobody should adjust you here. If anybody touches you here, be careful. We want to work below and above.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to try to just loosen up your middle back a little bit here. Exhale, rotate. There we go. There we go. I got you. Okay, all right. Breathe in deep. Exhale. Good. You get the idea, right? We're
Yeah.
trying to. We know we have disc injury here.
Yeah.
Nobody should be going.
Trying to
And
track this.
if you have a sprained ankle,
Yeah, it doesn't make
should you?
much- No. Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
injured. We have to leave it alone. Twist. There it is, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Good, okay. Then we're going to do this blow area here. Exhale. Get the idea, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to rack every bone.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of benefit to loosening this joint. There's no benefit to further
track.
popping
Yeah.
the one that's injured. Even though it temporarily makes it feel better to pop a joint, it releases,
Yeah,
endorphins
like-
and makes it
yeah,
feel
yeah.
better. That's why when you bumped your elbow when you were a kid, it felt better to stimulate it, but it's not. By mechanically adjusting it, you're making it looser. We're trying to balance your spine. Leave
Okay.
alone the ones that are loose and loosen the ones that are stiff.
Gotcha.
If you bought a car and 20 years later it looked the same as it did the day you bought it,
Yeah.
that would be not unremarkable. That would be pretty remarkable, right?
Yeah.
You've taken care of it, or you haven't driven the car. So part of your spine hasn't been utilized or driven on or functioning, and so it hasn't aged. That is remarkable. That's actually outstanding. Anybody contacts you down here, run out the door. right?
Okay.
This is where all disc injury happens. We want to leave that alone. We're going to go straight right off the occiput, upper neck.
Okay.
There we go, I got you. I got your head, I promise. There you go. There you go. There we go. Yeah, a little bit. Let me have it, I got you. There you go, nice. Yeah. This word means sub, meaning less than. Luxation, meaning dislocation. So less than a dislocation.
Okay.
The vertebrae isn't dislocated. So when the medical world first heard us say this word, they thought we were talking about dislocations and they thought it was ridiculous. That's why we're like, no, it's subluxated.
Yeah, it's not quite
It's
dislocated.
not quite dislocated, but it's out of alignment. It's crooked. Right there. There we go. I got you. Here we go. Let me have it. Let me have this side. There we go. Let it go. There we go. Little piece. Yeah, it's just tight right there. We got it. You like to sleep on your left side. You gotta get off that left side. Your neck favors tilting the left. When you sleep on your left side, it's the same as tilting your head left. And your body's there's an injury, like I said, wakeboarding or car accident that are both together injured that joint, and your body's desiring to get away from it. Way back here. This position will last till 100 or longer. The lordotic arch, and the only way to get it is the same way you lost it, through stretching.
Yeah.
It was spending long periods of time rounded forward looking down that stretch the ligaments that are supposed to hold the body in the right position. They no longer have the power to pull the curve back in your spine. We have to stretch the contralateral ligaments to make the curve where your neck wants to be. Where our neck was when you were a year old, every child develops the lumbar and cervical curves by 1 year old. We have them. That's why we call them natural curves. We call them secondary curves because we're not born with them. We're born with the thoracic primary curvature. And in school I used to think it was like, okay, so it's more important. No, it means primary means we're born with it. Secondary because it develops after birth. So that the neck and lower back lordoses are developed in the first 3 to 6 months of life. That's why we call them secondary curves.
Oh, I'm not kidding.
Okay, anyway. So these arches are designed to be here to allow your spine to make it. So real quick, I'm not combing that hard. You'll see a mark on your neck, and that mark signifies the tangle internally.
Gotcha.
As you would progress through your care, I won't be able to make it come out, and then actually the bones will move more because part of what's happening here,
it's so locked up,
like a ball of yarn.
Yeah.
It's preventing this area from functioning because it's been injured. You can almost see from the surface the internal fibers, roads that were supposed to be like railroad tracks, nice and straight and organized. Now they're all tangled and like Deal's Gap up in.
Yeah, I've got it.
I love this road up there. It's like the curvy road, like 319 curves and.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, I love Deal's Gap.
Ride motorcycle.
Yeah,
fast cars.
that's what we got Deal's Gap in here. You have more symptoms on the right lower back?
Yes.
Yeah. So the left side of your back is more elevated. Actually, it's elevated on both sides, but it extends longer down to here. It's elevated here. Both sides have it, but there's a longer extension of the most misaligned part of your back is on the left middle. The word chiropractor is as diverse as the word restaurant.
Yeah, I know.
It's just
Once my back, I got rear-ended by a Hummer with my work van with a front trailer, and the guy hit me doing like 80 miles an hour. I was at a red light.
Gotcha.
And after that, he's like, "Yeah, I don't really feel comfortable adjusting you anymore."
Well, see, I don't know if I'd ever say that because there's always parts of your spine that are not injured.
Yeah,
right?
But
I wouldn't ever be comfortable adjusting the older parts.
Yeah,
it's a big reason why I'm not huge on, well, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Neither does the physical trainer at the gym say that to a person that's, say, their first time being in the gym, lifting weights. How do you feel? This hurts.
Yeah.
This hurts and it doesn't feel good at all.
Oh.
Okay, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Half your spinal column doesn't have any feeling. And that's just confusing because we've always trusted, how do you feel?
Yeah.
And you can't actually relay to me how certain sections of your body actually feel because they don't have sensors in them. So I have to be more objective with my exam. I have to feel your spine and be able to say, well, this part's really rigid, which means another part of your back must be overworking because this area is underworking. So if this area was working properly, again, I'd be confused. If this all felt wonderful in here, I don't see how it'd be possible for you to have an L5 disc injury.
Yeah,
right?
I highly doubt there's too much in my back that feels normal.
Right, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't have progressed this far, especially by 36. I would hope that what I do is simply a distillation of what we found to work. My father and then myself, that's why we call it a practice.
Yeah, exactly.
We practice,
It's not
and eventually you figure out what works, and then you remove the things that don't work, and what you're left with is everything that works, and what's helped somebody. And
yeah, when my mom found you, she was about in tears when she called me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know my back's a mess, but
Don't apologize.
That's why I'm here.
Like I said, the cars that need to be worked on go to the mechanics. The cars that don't need to be in the mechanic shop don't go to the... If you don't need an oil change, don't go to the mechanic.
Yeah.
It's time for an oil change. And this is a water pump and timing belt and tire change and...
I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I'm glad I'm here. I could not wait. You know, I was so stoked when you called me back.
I was so happy, yeah.
Over the moon.
Oh, come on. We have to make this area not need to be avoided. Because it's frozen and because there's old injuries in here, your body's going to want to get away from this. And so as this area becomes cleaner, your body won't feel the desire or inclination to get away from it. As you remodel a house, your body will want to reside in it more often than a house that's in need of repair. You know, so you make it a nice place to be, your body will be there. You injure these joints and then your body rounds forward to get away from it. And all these muscles get all tight because they're trying to stabilize everything. That's what creates a lot of the popping and clicking and crunching around here. It's scar tissue combined with muscles that are not supposed to be contracted all the time.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Just gotta mash that spot down. Oh boy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess.
Bit of a mess. I had a party last night, Ed. I didn't clean up. In fact, I haven't cleaned up in years.
Yeah. It's been,
It's like one of those hoarding shows where they go in and it's like, oh boy.
Yep.
You have newspapers from 100 years ago. Why'd you save these? Right there, yeah. Gouache all that in a second. All right, put the arm back down for me. Anyway. Yeah, real quick, all this area is just loud. Well, the muscles are working harder than they're supposed to be.
Oh,
So
yeah,
now they're building up a lot more acidity inside. Yeah, right here, wow, this is, I mean, that was like literally 2 swipes. So any area that's been, it's like the first time you run a vacuum cleaner over a piece of carpet, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first few seconds you're gonna get the most dirt.
Yeah. So that brings out like the
Blood flow, yeah, blood flow to these
okay.
these areas that have been tight, which is sequestered off circulation.
Oh yeah, for
And now
sure.
it's what's trapped, what we call cellular exhaust, or there's lactic acid is the waste product that your body creates when your body takes sugar, or fat, or protein and blows it up. That's the end result is lactic acid.
Gotcha.
And then because the areas get so stiff, they don't get good circulation. And so now by working on your body, we're rushing blood into these areas, and you're finding all the acidity that's been trapped. Yeah, right around the shoulder blade. Look at all that, Carla. That's what you're feeling in there. underneath my children's beds is where they try to push all the
Put random toys
scapula.
and
Everybody tries to shove stuff underneath their scapula. It's like, nobody will find it. It's gone. I was thinking of the Joker, I'm going to make this pencil disappear.
yep.
See, it's gone.
No, my shoulders. There's plenty of stuff going on in there.
Don't make any friends, these first ones. Okay, I'll get you later for that.
Oh, shit.
When we sit, this joint becomes locked. Gotta unlock this joint. Right there.
Mm.
That's where it's locked. This is the joint below, so if this joint has to be, this has to be restricted also. Does that make sense? The areas around are the most responsible. So, all right, that's what we're dealing with in here.
Oh, it's good.
We gotta get all that out of there. This is part of what our body's trying to avoid.
Okay.
It doesn't feel good to compress these inflamed areas. This is what I was trying to work on when we laid on our side. It's called the sacroiliac joint right here. One of the most powerful joints in your body. And so if this joint doesn't work, lumbar 5 overworks. So it's vital, extremely vital, that this joint is easy, moves fluidly, doesn't have any restrictions. Ed, can't you push any harder? That's the bar. I'm gonna give you a pole vaulting pole and say, get to jumping. And that's impossible. There's no way I can clear that. I promise you, you're gonna be able to clear it. It just takes time to work on these areas and get them used to functioning. And then once they start functioning, it becomes self-cleaning, meaning that the soreness will start. It's like a Roomba vacuum. Automatic vacuum cleaners. They just go around and it doesn't have to be manually cleaned anymore. Come on, here we go. Here it is, a little bit there, yeah. Okay. Here we go, exhale. There we go, exhale. I got you. Relax, breathe. Come on. All right, good. A little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. There, that's good. Gotcha. There we go. There we go. Get your head to the right for me a little bit. It's okay. I gotcha. Tilt your head to the right. There we go. A little bit. Go ahead and tilt your head left, a little bit. Tilt left, tilt left.
Oh, well.
There we go, I got you. Just tilt left. There we go, it's okay. Very good. Have you come right over here. At the beginning, your back wants to be rigid.
It's fighting it.
And fights it. So it just takes hours on the elbow work and adjustments to restore the. That's why I was mashing you with the roller and.
Oh, I know. I don't hate you for it. I'm glad I'm here.
So what I'm saying is, when you're at home, we try to. It's like, how do you lose weight? You have to not only exercise, but you have to stop eating all the junk food.
Yeah.
So when we're changing posture, we want to not just put good things in. We want to take out anything when you have the opportunity. For instance, when you're at home relaxing, you're not spending your relaxing time sitting in the lazy boy chair. Does that make
Yeah.
Feeding that rounding forward. We want to be on our belly, arching up, or even just neutral, or laying on your side, lounging.
Okay.
We want to remove as much as possible time, prolonged time spent rounded forward. This is a good position for your back, as
All
long
right.
as your back's moving evenly. All right, very good, my friend. You did great. You did great.